Hey Sugar Geeks, Liz here again. This week I'm showing you how to make the most amazing applesauce spice cake you've ever had. I know I always say that, but seriously, I took a bite of this and I almost died. I had to fend off everybody for the last slice. It is just delicious, like moist, tender cake with the cream cheese frosting. You don't want to miss this one. Coming up next on the Sugar Geek Show. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is sift our dry ingredients, which I normally don't do, but the baking soda in this recipe, if you don't sift it, it can cause little pockets of unraised batter, and that's not good. I'm also adding in all of my spices and my salt, and we're just gonna sift. I can smell the spices. The great thing about spice cake is these are all the spices and stuff that I like, but if you wanted to switch out some of these spices for, more cinnamon or less or whatever, you totally can. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my butter into the mixer, and we're just gonna cream that until it's smooth. And then I'm gonna start sprinkling in my white sugar. And now I'm gonna add in my oil and whip that until it's nice and white. That looks pretty good. It's nice and white and fluffy. That is where the cake is gonna get all of its beautiful texture from. And now we're gonna add in our egg. 1 egg. I know you're like, only 1 egg, but because we're using so much applesauce, which is actually kind of like an egg replacer, we only need 1 egg. Kind of cool, huh? A little bit of vanilla. Mix that up. All right, now I'm gonna add in my flour. Whoa. Don't forget to make a mess. I'm pretty sure this is gonna poof up. Maybe 5 seconds, just until it's incorporated. Just depending on if you're using a different kind of mixer, you might have to mix this for more or less, but the Bosch has 2 mixers and scrapers, so it just mixes really efficiently. So for me, it's only like 5 seconds, but on a KitchenAid, it might be 30 seconds. So just be aware, especially if you're using a hand mixer. You just wanna add the flour and mix it until it's combined. Then we're gonna add in our applesauce, the secret to moisture. And then we're going to, you guessed it, mix until combined. I think that's done. Pretty fast. So it should look something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to just use some cake goop in my cake pans. This is my homemade pan release, and I think it works better than professional pan release, and it's super cheap, super easy to make. Recipes on sugargeekshow.com, but I bet you already knew that. I'm just gonna divide my cake batter evenly between my 3 pans. I'm using 3 6-inches today, but you could do 2 8-inches if you prefer. And we're gonna bake this in the oven until it's done. About 30 minutes. All right, so it's time to stack our applesauce spice cake. I'm gonna actually just level the tops a tiny bit. They're pretty flat, but I like to play it safe. I have just a little piece of plastic wrap down on my turntable because I don't like to clean up crumbs. All right, now for the crumb coat. I'm using my cream cheese frosting recipe because I just feel like that is going to be delicious, and that's the point of everything, right? So nice thick layer of cream cheese. Oh yeah, baby. You know the drill. Cream cheese, cake, cream cheese, cake. If you need more information on how to frost and fill a cake, you can check out my video, How to Make Your First Cake on sugargeekshow.com. Okay, now we are going to seal in the crumbs with just a thin layer of the cream cheese frosting. So funny thing, when we were first researching this cake, applesauce cake, right? And we were like looking for applesauce cake information, and we couldn't really find anything on it. Turns out applesauce cake is not a cake that tastes like applesauce. It is literally just a cake that has applesauce in it to make it more moist. Then you can use like less eggs and technically make it healthier. So we decided to put applesauce in our spice cake, hence applesauce spice cake. Okay, and now I'm going to put this in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Okay, our buttercream is nice and chilled. Final layer. I'm gonna smooth out the top first. I don't know what it is about cream cheese frosting, but it just is like so fun to smooth onto the cake. It looks so yummy. Now, Who else is excited for fall? I'm just like getting super excited just thinking about sweaters and crunchy leaves and hot drinks. Christmas time. Yes, I said it. I'm excited. I'm gonna use my bench scraper to smooth out the sides. See that my top edge is a little bit wonky. So I'm gonna do like a drip on top of this with some caramel because I just happen to have some. So to do a drip though, you need to chill your cake again because otherwise it will drip all the way down the edges, which is not what we're going for. And then just maybe like 10 minutes in the freezer, just enough to get that outside layer cold. And while it's chilling, we're gonna prep our caramel. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and fill a little squeeze bottle with some caramel. This is my salted caramel recipe and I had some left over, so I thought, why not put this on top of the cake? I think it'll go delicious. And I went ahead and microwaved it for about 30 seconds just so it's a little bit soft, but not like super soft. You definitely don't need to use a bottle to, pipe your caramel on top. You could just do it with a spoon. You could just do it with a piping bag, but I really want to control my drips. So just keep in mind that if you use a piping bag or a bottle, your drips are going to be a lot cleaner. Or if you use a spoon, they're going to be a little bit more free form. All right, our last chill is done. I'm going to place this cake onto a plate. Just going to seal that bottom edge so there's no gap. Now for the fun part, drip, 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 drip. So I have my chilled cake and I'm gonna do a test drip. Make sure that this isn't gonna run all the way down the edge so that we don't end up with a situation where all your drips look terrible and then you have to redo it. See, I feel like that's a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna microwave this for another 15 seconds. All right, test drip number 2. Oh yeah, that's more like what we're going for here. So now it is safe to proceed with the dripping. I do big drip and then I do a line, drip, line, drip. Some people like to do drip, drip, drip. I don't like doing that. I don't know why. Oh, that looks so cute. I love it. If this does not scream fall, I don't know what does. All right, I'm gonna put the rest on top. Whoa. Ah. Oh my God, that's so good. And then I'm just gonna use my little spatula just to fill in any little holes. Now I have some more cream cheese frosting with Wilton piping tip number 32. I'm just gonna do some little dollops. Cause it's cute. Now I get to take a bite. I've already had a whole slice of this cake, which is why I have so much energy. I'm gonna pretend like this is the first slice I've had. Like, oh, what's this? Oh, I guess I'll just try this. Ah, it's so good. This literally tastes like fall on a plate. I'm so happy.